Hello. Good evening. Welcome to the Edinburgh International Book Festival. Welcome to our Guardian Spiegeltent, and welcome to the Jura Unbound. It's Friday night, which is quite cool. And we've got a front row. Look at that. That's amazing. My name is Roland Gulliver. I'm the Associate Director for the festival. I'm delighted to welcome you here on the beginning of the last weekend of the book festival. I'm quite excited because we've already done two, and then it'll be finished soon. But it's also the beginning of our super duper mega amazing graphic novel, comic, cartoon program thing. Hang on. I started well and I faded a bit there. Yes, we've got loads and loads of graphic novel and comic events going on. There's some bloke called Grant Morrison over there. He wrote a couple of comics. He's doing some signing. There's loads of events over the weekend. Please do pick up a little stripped comic book voucher program thing. It tells you what's happening. If you want to know what's happening in Unbound, pick up this lovely program created by our friends from the Skinny magazine. We've been going for weeks now. Is it who's here for the very first time? Oh, that's quite good. So I sound really interesting, rather than just saying the same old nonsense I've said before. Do pick up a programme. It's full of loads of interesting articles about all the people you've missed for not being here. You missed the Norwegians. You missed the Gales. You missed Stuart Lee. You missed dancing. You missed dancing on the stage. You missed dancing around the Spiegeltent. But there's still lots to come. So there's tonight, and then there's tomorrow night. We've got Alyssa Inc., who are doing an amazing graphic novel night, bringing graphic novels to light on the stage with paper and pens and boards and flip charts. It'll be amazing. And then on Sunday night, we've got the Fence Collective with Vic Galloway, which is going to be brilliant. And then on Monday night, it'll be the last night of the festival, apart from School's Gala Day, where we will have Electric Tales, who will be doing lots of stories and comedy about robots. My lovely colleague has been walking around with one of these. Please do fill it in and tell us what you think. Tell us why you're here. Tell us why you're going to come back tomorrow for the event at 10:15. Saturday, that's with Colin McAdam and Charles Ferneyhoff. It'll be brilliant. A few of you will get a £5 voucher to spend in the bookshop, which is open until 10. It's obviously open again in the morning when you come back tomorrow to go to see Charles Ferneyhoff and Colin McAdam and go to all the brilliant graphic novel events. The bar's open until 1. Jura... We're giving out little teensy, tasty measures of Jura, but we think we're giving all them away. But do drink some more Jura whiskey, because it's Friday night. And it's book festival, we've got front row. Anyway, so, I'm slightly hyper. It's been a long festival. A very literary death match. I've been here before. And with Unbound, we always like to challenge the people to come back, but to do it bigger, and to do it better, and to do it different. So rather than just doing a normal literary deathmatch, we're going to have a special graphic novel, comic, super duper, magic bonanza, fantastic thing. So thankfully, I'm not the host. So I'll hand over to your host, the marvellous Mr. Adrian Todd Zuniga.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Yes. As you've just heard, my name is Adrian Todd Zuniga, and to your wild and freakishly loud and overdone applause, I want to welcome you to Literary Deathmatch Edinburgh, Episode 7! Yes! Holy shit, it's happening! I don't know how to make this microphone do the thing that I want, but it seems so weird positioned like that, like I'm going to eat it. But let's just eat it. Why not? All right, tonight. By the way, who has never been to Literary Deathmatch before? 11 of you. Perfect. You effectively are our target audience. Everybody else, thank you for coming back. You know how this is going to be magical, and I don't even know what's going to happen. And basically, before I get to that, I want to talk a little bit about this festival. It's honestly, we get to do this all over the world. We're about to do Hong Kong as our 50th city. We've done it 285 times now if this event finishes. Otherwise, we'll wait until the end to decide this is the 285th. But we've done 284, and we go all over the world and feature amazing writers. But last year on this stage, one of my favorite writers, I've only seen two of my top favorite people ever do this show. One, a writer named Amanda Filipaki, who is just hilarious and amazing, and then Edgar Keret, who's an Israeli writer who I deeply adore. He won last year, and what I love about this festival is there's amazing, intelligent stuff going on, and then they invite us to sort of, because the way Edgar won, I'll explain the show, but I'm just going to tell you how Edgar won. He had to shoot a lipstick-tipped Nerf arrow at a man's face named Paul Bauer, who won the 1932 Olympic gold medal for literature. And it was like a literary Olympic shout-out callback, because we all remember 1932. But there used to be an Olympic gold medal, so that was a celebration. But that same, I think even same day, earlier that day, I'd seen Junot Diaz and Nathan Englander talk together, and those guys are incredible. And Juno said this thing to me. He said, not to me, he said it to me. He spoke to this area of me. He said, we all have a blind spot, and it's shaped exactly like us. And I thought, I was like blown, like literally my hair blew back. It was longer then. And I was so moved by that because at that very time, we were raising money using Kickstarter to fund our TV pilot. And then now, a year later, I can't even tell you about it yet because we haven't signed it officially, but we sold Literary Deathmatch as a TV show, which is so fucking cool because now books, everybody's going to basically walk around reading instead of being an asshole. Like anybody who's an asshole, starting 2014, everybody's going to be fucking awesome. And they're going to be like dropping Hemingway. They're like, F. Scott once said, cut it out with the exclamation points. It's like laughing at your own joke. And then you're going to be like, yep, I knew that. I didn't get that off Wikipedia. I read it. I got it off. Okay, so moving on. So it's such a thrill to see the diversity here. I just wanted to talk about how we got a TV show. I didn't really know how to wrap that up without sounding like an asshole. But I do want to talk about the word nerd, because I was researching this recently. I was just like, where did that word come from? Does it have literary... I'm just going to check all my pockets here. Here's where the nerd word came from. In 1950, Dr. Seuss coined the term in his book, I Ran a Zoo, in which Gerald McGrew claims that he would collect a Nurgle, a nerd, and a seersucker too, for the imaginary zoo. And then in 1973, this is the height of the word nerd, author Philip K. Dick claims to have coined nerd, N-U-R-D, spelling, but... its first recorded use appeared in the 1965 student publication at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. And I just love the penis who was like, no, he didn't coin it in 73. It was in this journal that had 300 copies published. That's like the nerdiest thing ever. But then in 1975, I actually just made up that year, but it just happened after that. The word nerd, K-N-U-R-D, came into existence, and it was because it was drunk spelled backwards to indicate people who studied rather than partied. And so Literary Deathmatch, I once said it's way less Hunger Games and more like the time that Lord Alfred Tennyson got up from that dinner party and tried to exit through the fireplace because he was so drunk. So you guys, just drink. This is it for all of us. Like, this is the night of the festival that matters most. We can all stumble in tomorrow and see the graphic novel stuff, but this is it. So just get wild. It's Friday night. Moving on. I'm now going to explain the rules. We're going to have 4 incredible authors, artists, comic. It's so wonderful to do a graphic novel event, and the first one we've ever done took us 285 shows. We're not done yet, but we'll get there. And they're going to perform, produce work in 7 minutes or less. If they go over 7 minutes, you'll hear a bell ding because we have a boxing theme to our TV show. And if they go over 8 minutes, we'll ding it again twice. And then if they go over 9 minutes, I'll ding it 3 times, and then just like the first 3 rows, just come up and hug them till they quit reading. Because we'll just go read them online or buy their books. So we've heard enough. And then after that, we'll go to our lovely judges, who I'm about to introduce. They're going to make commentary of different sorts, and then they're going to pick a winner from each round. Those 2 winners will compete in the finale. And tonight's finale is honestly the greatest thing that will ever have happened to all of us, as like this exact group. And it's going to blow your mind. So don't think, I got too drunk, he told me to get drunk, now I'm going to go try to have sex. Wait until after that, because... Trust me. I keep trying to grab the mic and I'm just swiping it. You're going to keep seeing that throughout the night. Ladies and gentlemen, I am ready now, finally. I know you've been sitting here for hours to introduce our judges. Judging literary merit. He is the author of the comic book series The Sandman and the novels Stardust, American Gods, Coraline, and The Graveyard Book. He has won, this is insane, the Hugo, Nebula, Bram Stoker, Newbery Medal, and Carnegie Medal, and he was the first author to win both the Newbery and the Carnegie Medals for the same work, The Graveyard Book. Follow him on Twitter, or I'll launch myself into the crowd, but not in a crowd surfy way, at Neil himself. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Neil Gaiman! Neil Gaiman. Hello, Neil. Oh, actually, if you sit in that one, yes. Thank you for being here, Neil. Neil is a busy man. This is the 365th time that we've asked him to do the show, and he's finally here. I'm very excited. He's also a fantastic writer. Judging performance. He's a novelist and musician who grew up By the way, it says real quick he's not, but it says on his Wikipedia page that he's a Chinese musician and author. And I checked it like 3 weeks ago and it didn't say that, so just have fun with that while I'm saying this. He's a novelist and musician who grew up on an orchard in Dwellingup, a small town in the southwest of Western Australia, and authored the novels Rhubarb and Jasper Jones. He's been shortlisted for the 2011 International IMPAC Dublin Literary Award. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Craig Silvey! Craig Silvey! Hello, Craig. Thank you for coming. I emailed him like 380 times, but he lives in Australia, so it's been hard to get him over here. Finally, she, Judging Intangibles, is a broadcaster, novelist, and print journalist who lives in London with her husband, Chris, cat Lilu, and dog Potato. That's so good. She has made 13 documentaries about all sorts of things, including polygamy, childbirth, geishas, body image, breast cancer, and even a movie about dirty dancing. Her first novel, Paper Aeroplanes, was published by Hotkey Books in 2013. You can follow her on Twitter at Hot Patooties, as you'd imagine based on her name. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Dawn O'Porter! Dawn O'Porter! Hello, Dawn. Thank you for being here. Do either of you gentlemen need a drink? You guys don't have drinks, but she's come up full lesh. If you would like a drink... Not yet, but I just wonder, I'm acting like the show is in front of all these people. All right, the group, red wine, perfect. Neil, is there a microphone anywhere for you? Oh, there it is. That's the last place I would have checked, right in front of you. Neil, while Henrik Ibsen was in his final days, he lay near a window and confused the people passing on the streets with characters from his plays. Which I think that's so beautiful. Using your vast imagination, what's a book, play, or short story of yours or someone else's you would like to see play outside of your window?
I think particularly if I was dying, obviously, at that point it gets really, really fun. And I get to look out the window. I think actually I'd really like to completely fill it with Dr. Seuss characters, because they would cheer me up, especially those things with like tall, feathery heads and big stars on their tummies.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's very literary.
Yeah, very literary. Ladies and gentlemen, Neil Gaiman! Craig, E.E. Cummings died while chopping firewood. Christopher Marlowe was stabbed in the head right above the eye after an argument over a bar tab, and Sherwood Anderson died from a toothpick he'd swallowed while eating hors d'oeuvres on a cruise. He deserved that one. As a literary person, I ask, how are you going to go out?
How am I going to go out?
How are you going to go out?
All those seem to be sharp objects. I'm thinking maybe amongst that company, I'll go with something sharp. For some reason, you told me to riff. I'm thinking ice pick.
Ice pick?
I'm going ice pick.
How would it go? It would just lay on the ground?
In the back. In the back. I'll never
Wow.
know. It'll be an eternal mystery.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mysterious.
That's what I do.
Death. Ladies and gentlemen, Craig Silvey!
I can't believe I'm sitting next to someone that would choose the ice pick.
I know, he'd choose, and it's such a mystery. There's so much mystery around it. That's what I like. It looks like, is that your lipstick? It looks like a human finger in a little, okay, let's just move on.
It's actually my husband's finger, and I just rub it on my face.
As you would. That makes perfect sense. Dawn, after your marriage, your name went from Porter to O. Porter, transplanting you into the rich literary tradition alongside Flannery O'Connor, Edna O'Brien, and Barack Obama, all brilliant authors whose last names start with an O. Respond.
We're just all part of the same team, me and Obama. So thank you very much for all your support, and me and my wife are doing everything that we can to make sure that you live in a great country. Thank you.
We thank you. Thank you so much, Todd O'Porter! And now I'm going to introduce our first round reader. Okay, you guys look ready. Representing Limehouse Books. Follow them on Twitter at Limehouse Books. Her sister and her, Jenny and Penelope. They're sisters who make graphic novels as well as developing work for television. Their new book, Brioni Hatch, is being published by Limehouse Books in September 2013. You can follow them on Twitter. I'm big on Twitter. I'm really pushing this Twitter thing, I'm noticing. At Skinner Sisters. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome up Penelope and Jenny Skinner. Hello, ladies. I'm going to quickly introduce their opponent just so you guys know who they're about to get into trouble with. He is... There's his name. This bio confuses me because I'm not intelligent. He's drawn many characters, including Dennis the Menace, Bash Street Kids, Desperate Dan, Winker Watson, Ur Woolley, and the Bruins. Also published 2 graphic novels, Milk Plus and X, and a collection of comic strips, Raising Amy. He illustrated The Tattoo Fox, which launched at the Book Fest last week. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Stevie White! Hello, Stevie White. This is his assistant. They're all going to shake hands in a way of he's shaking his own assistant's hand. He doesn't even want to touch the Brioni Hatch sisters. The Skinner sisters. Loving the kiss. They're against them or against them. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to welcome Stevie and his assistant. I don't know why. I'm going to say his name later, but I just like that for now. And I want you to give it up for your... Is it? Good times. Welcome, Penelope and Jenny Skinner!
We have created the novel Briny Hatch, a story in a confessional style about a teenage girl in the midst of a goth crisis. Briny Hatch was inspired in part by our own teenage angst. As teenagers, we were definitely far from cool. My sister was profoundly in love with Aragorn, aka Strider, specifically the one from the unfinished Lord of the Rings cartoon. She wrote him into her own fantasy novel, heavily inspired by, some might say plagiarized from, the Dragonlance books. Meanwhile, I was obsessed by The Song of the Lioness, a fantasy series in which a girl becomes a knight. I remember the day I finished the last of the 4 books, being overwhelmed by a sense of complete despair, as the bleak reality of my own unmagical life came crashing in on me. I took to my bed, like a Victorian lady, insisting that no less than 3 days off school could cure me of my melancholy. It probably lasted until the next book I started reading. In our story, the eponymous Bryony is obsessed with a series called The Starling Black Adventures, about a powerful magical exorcist in the fictional land of Bizarcum, whose sidekick is an attractive ghost called Harry McClutz. I'm going to read an extract from Bryony's diary in which she compares the relative merits of being Starling Black versus being Briny Hatch. I think it is fair to say that I am completely obsessed with Briny Hatch. This worries me a bit, because on my next birthday, I will be 15. At this stage in my life, I am meant to be experimenting with drugs and having my first fumbling sexual experiences. But hanging out with Starling is so much better. She is perfect, my hero. Reasons why being Starling Black would be better than being me. 1. Starling's hair is black, long, and lustrous. My hair is mousy and fuzzy. Even special fly-away shampoo doesn't help. 2. Starling has sexual tension with a wide variety of men and is secretly in love with Harry McClutz, who I am also in love with, even though he is A, a fictional character, and B, a 200-year-old ghost, and therefore would probably technically be a paedophile if he agreed to go out with me. No one fancies me at all. Even the flasher in the park has never flashed at me. I'm also the only virgin left in my class. What a freak. 3. Starling lives a life of magical adventure because she was born with special powers. I live a life of totally boringness and was born with no powers at all. 4. Starling wears amazing capes and breeches and belts with silver buckles and thigh-high leather boots. She carries a sword and wears an amulet. She has a magical ruby skull talisman with which she performs exorcisms. I wear a school uniform 90% of the time, and the other 10% I spend in a tracksuit because I am too fat and ugly to wear anything else. 5. Starling is psychic. I struggle to work out what is going on in my own mind half the time and have no idea what is going on in anyone else's. 6. In Starling's world, exorcising ghosts might be illegal, but it is also cool and aspirational. Bizarcum is a place where ghosts definitely exist, along with ghouls, witches, vampires, dragons, unicorns, and all different types of magic. In my world, believing in ghosts and magic used to be okay. One summer, me and Julia played We Are Unicorns for the whole holidays. Now, Julia says that magic is for kids and geeks. When we turned 12, Julia had a barbecue. She set fire to all her dolls and cut the heads off her furry toys. I went home and cuddled all my furry toys and told them I would never hurt them. But then I felt stupid and anxious in case there is something wrong with me. Please note, when I was little, my mum used to say things like, when you're a grown-up, you can do what you want and go to bed whenever you like. But recently she has started saying things like, time you grew up and started taking responsibility for yourself. Or, grow up, Bryony. Life's not a walk in the park, you know. That's it.
Give it up again for Penelope and Jenny Skinner. I brought up that other easel, but now it's just a problem for people to get around. So I'm going to take that down in a less noisy way than I did it before. And while that's happening, and I do it with a glass of wine in my hand, and I rip this off. Not bad, but not right on the perforated seam. I got some work to do. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Stevie White and his assistant, John McShane.
Until now, the only famous animal in Edinburgh, apart from the people in the Parliament, was Greyfriars Bobby. Filmed by Walt Disney because he couldn't get money out of Scotland, so he had to film something in Scotland. That's true, actually. Go to Greyfriars Pub and you'll find out. Now there is the Tattoo Fox. I'm going to read a bit from that, and Stevie will illustrate it. The fox hid in her favourite spot near the entrance to the castle. She could see almost everything, but nobody could see her. Dress rehearsal night, said one of the men to a gentleman who was standing alone in the stands nearby. There's no going back now. No, indeed, said the gentleman. I can't wait to get started. The gentleman was the producer of the Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo. He had been working with his colleagues for the past year to make sure that this year's performance was, as the Castle Cat had insisted, bigger and better than ever. Soon, he would find out if all that hard work had paid off. He spoke into his radio. Are we ready to go? Sorry, sir. One of the sniffer dogs has gone astray. You can see they're all from Glasgow. Came the response. We'll catch the mutt as soon as we can. Good luck with that, said the producer, smiling. He turned and held up his hand, palm out. 5 minutes, he called across to one of his colleagues. We've got a dog on the loose. I'll alert everybody. It can't have gone far. Suddenly, the fox heard breathing. The fur on her back bristled. There was something behind her. She twisted round and found herself looking into the eyes of what could only be the runaway sniffer dog. It was very close, and she trembled with fright, knowing that she was cornered. She couldn't risk running out onto the esplanade, but she couldn't see any way to slip past the dog either. She took a step or two back and bared her teeth, ready to defend herself. The dog looked angrily at the fox. What on earth are you doing? He demanded. You don't have permission to be here. You must be a security threat. He began to run round and round, his tail beating back and forth. He was very excited, but didn't look very dangerous. I was just watching, the fox said carefully. Who are you? Who am I? I'm an official member of the tattoo team. I'm doing my job, looking for trouble. Things that shouldn't be here, things like you. Not you, by the way. It's a very important job, and you are in my way. The Castle Cat had certainly been right about the sniffer dog's poor manners. Suddenly, there was a sharp shout from one of the police dog handlers, and the sniffer dog began to pant. He's pretty bad-tempered today, he said. He's lost his mobile phone, and I'm trying to find it for him to keep in his good books. Stay exactly where you are, please, while I search the area. And the dog went off, sniffing loudly underneath the rows of seats. But for once, the fox decided not to do as she was told. She didn't like to disobey instructions, but these circumstances were exceptional. It was vital that she remained hidden. She took the chance to dash off in the opposite direction. But as she paused at the bottom of the stand, she caught the producer's eye. He was the only person in the esplanade that evening who saw her. He had an eye for detail. She was that size. But he wasn't angry. What a magnificent animal, he said to himself. I like the idea of a tattoo fox. The fox felt rather small after telling him off for the cipher dog. She was keen to return to the safety of the den, but she couldn't until all those people and that sniffer dog were gone. She found herself slinking further and further into the darkness under the stands. Suddenly, she caught sight of a brief red flash of light. Curious as ever, she crawled towards it. It was a little black box. It flashed red once again. She stared at it. Suddenly it began to flash and hum and sing a song, and the frightened fox scrambled away. When the commotion finally stopped, she crept back to have a look. She had no idea what it was, but was worried it might be dangerous. Maybe she could help stop something terrible from happening. The flashing and humming started again. The fox fairly tore out of her hiding place, almost running into the sniffer dog, who came puffing and panting towards her. I thought I ordered you to stay where you were, he barked. You did, and I'm sorry I disobeyed you, but come quick, she said. There's a very strange, flashing, noisy little black box under that stand, and it looks dangerous. I hope you're not wasting police time, said the sniffer dog crossly. I'm almost certain I'm not, replied the fox. She hoped she was right. I suppose I'd better come, just to shut you up, said the sniffer dog, and he followed the fox into the darkness. Suddenly the flashing and the humming and the terrible singing started again. It is a mobile phone, said the sniffer dog in surprise. He ran round in tight circles for a moment, thinking, I do not think it's dangerous, but better be careful. If it is the one my handler lost yesterday, you have done me a big favour. Now, make yourself scarce while I go and fetch him. Somebody else always takes credit. Relieved, the fox slipped out of sight while the dog shot off. He returned moments later with a man in dark blue overalls running at his heels. The man drew out a torch and shone it into the dark recess. Good boy, the man said to the sniffer dog. He spoke into his radio. Can you give my mobile a ring? Seconds later, the phone began to flash and hum and sing. Good boy, the man said again, and rubbed the dog's head. He crawled on his tummy and stretched as far as he could until finally the mobile phone was safely back in his pocket. Once more, he patted the dog's head, then clicked on his lead. You're sticking with me now, he told him. Then he spoke into the radio. Stray dog located. Splendid news, said the producer. He's from Edinburgh. And he stood up to give the control room the thumbs up. Good luck, everybody. Let the show begin. The sniffer dog turned and winked to the fox in her hiding place. Thank you for that. You've won me a gold star. You can watch the tattoo anytime you like. In fact, why don't you stay right there? This is the dress rehearsal, and that's the best seat in the house. Thank you very much.
Stevie White, ladies and gentlemen. John McShane, rocking it, quite evidently. Now we are going to go to our judges. We're going to start with Neil. He's first going to speak about Penelope and Jenny Skinner's work. For reference.
Well, I thought it was genuinely funny, which I enjoyed. The introduction, obviously, was absolutely as funny as the material. I really enjoyed the autobiographical elements. You felt that you were peering inside somebody's head. And obviously that was hugely reflected in the artwork, where the inner 15-year-old and the outer literary character, the what we aspire to be. I like the little skull, the fact that we get to be, because I think all literary characters should hold skulls and look sort of gloomy. Obviously, I was rather concerned about Bryony's eyes. She does look very, very stoned, and I think it's a source of concern for one so young, which is also sort of belied by the Adrian Mole-like and rather enjoyable story that we got. There you go.
Neil Gaiman, ladies and gentlemen, with literary merit. And now over to Craig Silvey for performance.
Right, well, I've been told to write down non sequitur items in this book and try and make some sense of them and riff on them, apparently. So I've written down, now for non-Australians, it's going to make absolutely no sense whatsoever, but
Good.
Australia's longest-running television program, for any Australians out there, I hope you understand, but it's a show called Mr. Squiggle, and it's about a puppet who comes down in a rocket, who draws stories on a sheet, not unlike this, and at the end of it, they say upside down, upside down. He writes it on a blackboard, actually, and the blackboard's quite grumpy. And at the end of it, they turn it over, and the picture makes just as much sense on the other side as it does there. And I remember thinking, slightly disappointing that it's not going to do that. But I'm here to adjudicate performance. So sorry. I'm here to adjudicate performance, and I thought one way of doing that, as I glanced out and saw your enraptured faces, I thought I'd develop, because I'm a maverick, an enrapture index, and because I've written down enrapture index, and I thought I'd write down your score on the enrapture index, the first ever score, which means you're well in the lead.
Yeah.
Is I've written down Southern Evangelical. Not sure what that means.
Craig Silvey with performance. And now back to Donna Porter for intangibles.
My first point is how much sympathy I have with her for only having eyelashes on one eye. Because as someone that puts a lot of work into my eyelashes, that would potentially be my worst nightmare. And I just wanted to express that. Also, is Bryony Hatch a euphemism or not? Also, there was something about 200-year-old ghost is different from a paedophile. I'd like to challenge that. Not in a weird, creepy way, but when I was a teenager, I had really erotic dreams about ghosts. And I don't mean that it was like, I don't want to like bring paedophilia into that, but it was just really hot and it wasn't okay. And the ghost was probably quite a lot older than I was. And all I'm saying is that I really got off on that. So thanks.
Thank you very much, Donna Porter. You see that thing? And now back to Neil Gaiman for Stevie White's literary merit.
So literary merit. I was told I was literary merit and that I had to work some kind of literary thing in, preferably the kind of thing that you might have heard at school. So I'm proudly going to point out here that a sudden sharp shout is alliteration. Thank you. I think from the great thing about judging the literary merit of anything in the world of graphic novels is you get to talk about the pictures too. And there was a glorious quality with this of, do you know what it is yet? And the point I think most impressed was the timing of the appearance of the red lines around the phone, which occurred at the exact moment that the phone in the story rang and red lines went up. And then the appearance of yellow lines. I thought that's good because it's actually being coloured in. We have moved, we have shown awareness that there are artists in comics, there are writers in comics, and there are colourists. Sometimes the same people. Although I was slightly concerned by whether or not that was a copyright symbol over, or perhaps a nipple. And how much nipples and copyright symbols actually resemble each other when it's late at night and you're in the Spiegeltent.
Neil Gaiman with literary merit. And now back to Craig Silvey for performance.
Once again, I remember watching Neil and he was taking a lot of notes. I started to feel very insecure. So I'll just read it out. I wrote, I am baffled by this accent. And I said, I feel under a considerable amount of pressure to appear as though I'm taking intelligent notes. I hope Dawn notices me writing fervently and feels slightly intimidated. And impressed. Also, is that dog wearing a fez? And I thought, since I started it, I should give the score on the Enrapture Index, whatever that is. And I've written the score as Sweet Drunk Uncle at Wedding.
Craig Silvey, ladies and gentlemen, with performance. And now back to Donna Porter for Intangibles.
Firstly, I'd like to just discuss how difficult it would actually be to tattoo a fox. And that would probably involve shaving a small area of the fox, which would actually be quite mean if it hadn't been to the vet and needed an urgent operation. And then you could shave the area and then potentially tattoo the fox. But aside from that, so I wasn't listening to the story because I couldn't understand what he was saying. But no, I'm only joking. I could. I'm actually Scottish. That was a real joke, and I feel like I can do that because I'm Scottish. So they're just. So I know that he drew something, but I see this as almost like a fashion design. Like this could be a dress. The arms are the ears, and there's like some, this. I love the whole design, but this big clumpy foot thing is just really unfeminine and unflattering. And the thing that upsets me most about this design for this dress is that it's not okay last minute to think I designed a really shit dress and I can just do tartan all over it just because I'm Scottish.
Donna Porter, ladies and gentlemen. And now the judges are going to huddle amongst themselves away from that microphone. It's a secret ballot, and they're going to decide the world's first round finalist. I do want to say that I understood that story. I've now been to Scotland. I think this is the 7th time because we've done 7 shows here. We do Glasgow, every once in a while as well. I was a friend of mine was like, "How do you say Edinburgh?" And I'm like, "That's how you say it." And she was like, "But everybody says it different here." Oh, you guys are supposed to be huddling. Quit being charmed by me. They're not. I'm going to tell you some literary shit here. I wanted to demystify. I don't know what it's called when, by the way, the readers went 6 minutes and 45 seconds in the second reader, and then Jenny and Penelope went 4:35, so let's all appreciate them. Actually, give it up for both of them. They were fantastic. The twosomes. What a first round. All right. Oh, and here's a tidbit I wrote down that I do want to say. I'm going to do the show in Hong Kong for the first time. We're waiting to hear back from Jean-Claude Van Damme to judge performance. I don't even care if he does. I just love, they're about to make out. I don't even care if he does. I just like that we're asking him. Holy shit, Craig was having none of it. Ladies and gentlemen especially, I always talk about how I love Literary Deathmatch because it's literary spectacle, but I never expected this. This is too spectacular. Demystifying the initial, does anybody know what J.R.R. Tolkien, the J.R.R.? Boom! John Ronald Royal. I always said his rule. George R.R. Martin? Raymond Richards. But here's the funniest. We can get back to this later because they're ready. B.F. Skinner? Burrhus Frederick. Oh, C.S. Lewis is Clive Staples. Actually, I'm going to go through these. Philip K. Dick. K. Kindred. He was destined. Ursula K. Le Guin. Kroeber. And then this is probably the weirdest. I'm from America. And I'm a little bit embarrassed and both proud of it at the same time. Z.Z. Packer. It's Zuena, but the second Z is decorative. Well, I'm not one of the New Yorker 20 under 40 people, so I guess it's working for her. I do want to say we have these literary deathmatch shot glasses. We're selling so we can get more inebriated throughout the weekend. I'm going to be honest. We're putting that money right into our alcoholic cup and just drinking it. We have them over that table. They're merely £5, and Neil Gaiman said he would do a shot with you for each of the 12 we have. We only brought 12, and then he'll sign it with the blood of that mosquito. And that thing is really okay. Hold on. I missed it. It's still flying around. I know, I feel weird about that too. There's never been a murder at Literary Deathmatch. Still not. It flew away. Watch out, Don. It's coming for you. Okay. What's going to happen is we're going to go to one of these judges. I'll call them out in a second. They're going to say a few words and announce the night's first finalist. After that, we're going to have a 7.5-minute intermission in which you talk to everybody around you. You never know what's going to happen tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And then we're all going to get a drink, and then we're going to come back for an amazing round 2, and then the finale. We're going to go to Neil Gaiman. Neil, if you could say a few words about the finalists and announce.
Well, the judging obviously was bitter, vicious. And in the end, unanimous. That I think, and I think what we responded to most of all was the humanity, and what we responded to second of all was the humanity again. Yeah, I think it's the humanity. It was humanity all the way, and it was Penelope and Jay.
Give it up for Penelope and Jenny Skinner! And give it up for the excellent, also worthy, not quite finalists, Stevie White and his assistant, John McShane. 7.5 minutes. Make out with the person next to you. We're going to take a break and wander off. We'll be back. Hit the music, DJ. I don't think there's any music. I can have your attention, please. We're about to start round 2. But I have to do something. I have to hand this mailing list around because I'm really bad at doing this, and it's laying there, and I'm like, oh, I should pass this around without a pen. If you sign up, we're going to specifically tag you to Edinburgh, but if you are from another city and you write it, then we'll tag you to another city, and we'll only bother you when we come back. And we do this show with, there's so many amazing people around the world that we do this with, so I would sign up. On our TV pilot, we had Moby, who's a musician from America, and Michael C. Hall, who is known as Dexter, and Tig Notaro, who you probably haven't heard of, but I can't wait till you do. You do, yeah. She had double breast cancer, survived it, and like blew everybody's mind, and I love her. And then Susan Orlean and Jonathan Lethem, nobody's heard of those geniuses, I'm just kidding. Okay. It's time for, oh, by the way, we can't sell shot glasses in here, so we're gonna shadily do it outside the Spiegeltent later. Well, now they're a lot more expensive because we have to do it illegally, so we have to cover our costs, our legal fees. Ladies and gentlemen, round 2's coming at you. Let's introduce, representing New British Comics. He's a comic writer from Glasgow, published in the likes of Vic, New British Comics, and Top Shelf Online. His works include Roachwell, Crawlhole, Metrodome, and Haunted Bowels. You can follow him on Twitter at Craig Comets. Comics, etc., like etc. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Craig Collins! Craig Collins. Thank you for being here tonight, Craig, and his opponent. Representing Nasty Little Press, at Nasty Lit. By the way, the reason we do this representing thing is because there's a ton of amazing literary organizations out there. Like in Scotland, you have Cargo Books, and then all these from all over the place. And all I'm asking is you just spend all your money to support them. Like, don't even pay rent this month. But there's so many people doing amazing things to support literature in this groundswelly cool way. Limehouse Books is incredible. There's just Polygon. Just fucking buy books like it doesn't matter. And then we'll all die in horrible bus accidents. And then somebody will continue to perpetuate the sale of books. Maybe I shouldn't have said the bus accident thing. Representing Nasty Little Press. I feel like I've lost you at the bus death part, but she is a writer who lives in Bristol. Her show, The Islanders, was winner of the Ideas Tap / Underbelly Edinburgh Award and is published as a graphic novel by Nasty Little Press. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Amy Mason! Amy Mason! If you guys could shake hands to introduce yourselves. And now, just so you know who's in this round, I'm going to disappear with Amy, and you can welcome Craig Collins to the center stage. Give it up for Craig Collins!
Hi, everyone. My name's Craig Collins. I'm a comic writer from Glasgow. I've never done anything remotely like this before, but I'm very happy to be here. I'm not an artist, but I'm going to attempt to translate some of my comics into a performance of sorts. This first one's from my weirder horror comic called Roachwell, and it's about those rare and old-fashioned circus stuntmen who would get a cannonball in their bellies. This one's called The Landlocked Sea Shanty. Cannon Man Dan stands in a carnival flexing his sturdy frame. I spend some time mentally and physically preparing. The crowd is tense with excitement, ready to see Cannon Man Dan cheat death once again. They line up the cannon and Dan readies himself. Ready, aim, fire, boom. Dan is struck in the belly and crashes into the netting behind. He thinks, they cheer with delight and astonishment, but I weep, for I have failed again. Dan sits in his trailer, holding his wounded gut and looking at an x-ray of his own abdomen in which we see the form of his ossified fetal twin. Someday, little brother, someday I will free you. Thank you. This next one was originally written for a Belgian art zine called Laser. I wanted to write something that told a different story depending on which language you read it in, whether it was English, French, or Dutch. You should all have kind of littered around the table the art for this particular strip. It's the art is by my friend and collaborator Ian Laurie. He's an Edinburgh artist. So if you want to, please do follow along. Bear with me a moment. This is called House of Mercy. A flat field in rural Belgium, an old man and his son approach a dilapidated cottage. In English.
We were going to go to one of the Swiss clinics.
We were going to one of the Swiss clinics. I love that guy's voice. In Dutch.
We zouden naar een van die Zwitserse klinieken gaan.
We were going to go to one of the Swiss clinics. In French.
Nous allions aller dans une de ces ES cliniques suisses.
We were going to go to one of the Swiss clinics. The son puts a heavy sack over his father's head.
But this is what he wanted.
But this is what he wanted.
Maar dit is alles wat wij ons konden veroorloven.
But this is all we could afford.
Mais c'est ce qu'il mérite.
But this is all he deserves. The son opens the door and directs his father in.
With pride in my heart, I lock the door.
With pride in my heart, I lock the door.
Met verdriet in mijn hart sluit ik de deur.
With sorrow in my heart, I lock the door.
Avec mon cœur plein de haine, je ferme la porte.
With hate in my heart, I lock the door. The father readies himself, each hand clutching half a dozen kitchen knives. Burly men stripped to the waist, lion and rooster-headed Flemish and Walloons surge toward him to attack.
He fights like a tiger.
He fights like a tiger.
Hij vecht als een lam.
He fights like a lamb.
Je ris comme un singe.
I laugh like a monkey. A burst eye and a torn limb fly, it is over. Glass. The son raises a glass and readies a Molotov.
Je ferme la porte.
Oh dear.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Proost.
Cheers.
Santé.
Cheers. Walking away from the burning cottage, the son.
My son will bring him
One
here.
day, my son will bring me here.
Op een dag zal mijn zoon mij hier brengen.
One day, my son will bring me here.
Un jour, mon fils m'apportera ici.
One day, my son will bring me here. Yeah. All right. Bear with me a minute. Giving it away. Thanks. This last one is from my sort of humor anthology. I wanted to pick something literary to reflect this, great festival. This strip is called Seamus Heaney's Heinous Penis. Seamus Heaney stands at a podium. A speaker introduces him. Ladies and gentlemen, reading for us this evening, winner of the Nobel Prize for Literature, Mr. Seamus Heaney. Woo! Thank you. Between my finger and my thumb, the squat pen rests, snug as a gun. Under my window, a clean rasping sound.
We were going to go.
Oh, shit. Bear with me. Panel 3. Under my window, a clean rasping sound.
Move it.
When the spade sinks into gravelly ground. When the spade sinks into gravelly ground, my father digging. I look down till his straining rump among the flower beds, bends low, comes up 20 years. I look down till his straining rump among the flower bed bends low, comes up 20 gears away. For fuck's sake, you just had to ruin this for me, didn't you? That's me.
Craig Collins, ladies and gentlemen. Coming in at 6 minutes and 26 seconds. Also of note, Craig's going to be at this tomorrow. If you don't go to this, it's kind of dumb because this thing is going to be amazing. It was already amazing today. Tomorrow, stripped. I'm going to hand this to you. If you don't go, I'm going to be so mad at you. You just have no idea. Ladies and gentlemen, the final reader/graphic novel genius of the night. Give it up for Amy Mason!
I'm very tall. Hi everyone. This is my book here. It's called The Islanders. It's a story about a trip that me and my ex-boyfriend Eddie went on to the Isle of Wight 15 years ago when we were a couple. We split up about 13 years ago. So I'm over it now. I haven't got the illustrator here because he's having a baby. So I thought I would make a bit of an extra effort and wear a tartan dress. And also I sing a tiny bit. Not so it's embarrassing, just like one line. I promise you it's all right. Anyway, I've got some books, so if you want to buy them, come and see me, that's good. And what else? Okay, so you need to know where we are when I'm going to do this. I'm going to do a bit from like the middle. And where we are is, so you sort of imagine you're 16, which is... I was 16, living in a bedsit. I had a really difficult relationship with my parents. I'd been chucked out and I was unemployed, living with my boyfriend. We were really miserable. We only ate orange food like baked beans, tomato soup, orange squash. That's it. And we were really unhealthy, really unhappy, trying to sort our lives out. I haven't got the illustrator, but imagine me but thinner and younger. That's the pictures. Okay. A friend of a friend helps me out. He needs an assistant at his advertising agency. I turn up late on my first day, my newly pierced lip bleeding all over my chin, my comfort blanket stuffed into a Tesco bag. They write radio ads for stations all over the country, and Isle of Wight radio is pretty much mine. I write their ads, summoning unknown places from faxed, handwritten briefs. The names of the towns are new to me. Shanklin, Ventnor, Freshwater. They're for family businesses, mainly. Amusement parks and petting zoos, bakeries and boat trips. I'm particularly proud of one of my jingles. Are you ready? Hey! We're going to eat pizza. More. Hey, it's the best on the island. If I think about the Isle of Wight at all, I think that it's tiny. I can picture it now. The radio station, this huge concrete building on a minuscule island. A rock, really. With all of the island inhabitants sitting on the roof, like that bit in Tremors. But instead of giant worms, they're looking down, wide-eyed at the sea, while they hum nervously, listening to their wind-up radios and weaving or whittling, or whatever island people do. And in the background, faintly, we're going to eat pizza. I get £3.20 an hour paid weekly by cheque. I buy us treats from Iceland, spinach and ricotta cannelloni, potato croquettes, Viennetta. At least twice a week I cry so much that I refuse to go into work. I make him call in for me then. She's got flu or she's been sick all night. Once he just shouts, "She's fucking mad!" They give me 4 weeks annual leave per year. The other people I work with, the writers and producers, go on holiday during theirs. They send postcards to the office that get pinned up across from my desk. Having a lovely time in San Francisco or New York or Rome. I start to imagine getting away from our stinking flat and horrible landlord. From all those girls from school with their hair straighteners and Maybelline and A-levels. From Bournemouth Town Centre with men in shirts and shoes and afro wigs. People who shout stuff when you walk down the street. Gay to him, tranny to me. And all those perfect blue flag beaches and fucking sushi bars. No trainers policies and conference suites. Armies of old people who moved down south just to escape the Asians who moved in next door. I start to think about it properly. Perhaps we could just about scrape together the money to get away. I mean, not to San Francisco, of course, or Lanzarote, or France. But I have an idea. We have the internet at work, and I go mad in my lunch breaks, printing out maps and photos of B&Bs. I take them back to Eddie at night and try to make him look. You see, there's this island I heard about, somewhere over there. You don't need a passport. I checked all that. And the people there are safe. The sea can't get them. Our landlord can't get them. Even the post office can't get them. They've got things to whittle, things to weave, or whatever island people do. Plus petting zoos, boat trips, and radio ads that have been written especially for them. On the morning of the trip, I choose not to think. Instead, I put one foot in front of the other, a technique I recently adopted when getting myself to go to work. I tell Eddie, put our things in a plastic bag, let's just walk down the road and see how we go. We get to the station. The train is on time. We take a breath and get on board. Then we're on the train, moving further and further away from our flat. We buy tickets from the guard and check where we should change. Lymington, I think. We get off where he said, then follow the signs to the boat, unspeaking, unsure, waiting for things to go wrong. But a man in uniform hurries us. If you run, you can just make this one. It's Eddie who does it, I think. Grips my hand and pulls me gently as we start to run towards the boat.
Amy Mason, ladies and gentlemen. Coming in at 6 minutes and 56.9 seconds. And now we go back to our judges, starting with Neil Gaiman. He's going to speak to Craig Collins' literary merit.
Okay, well, obviously, when you're judging literary merit, you are desperately looking for anything even faintly literary that you can judge. So, I mean, with Craig, the first thing that I thought was his initial story, because he did 3, was a twist ending that could have been found in classic EC comics. I was thrilled in the second one, in which he not only did it in 3 different languages, but the second page was entirely composed, yes, of similes. There were actual similes there.
Boom.
3 similes, 1 in each language. I was thrilled. I thought, good, we've got similes. Next thing, we'll get metaphors. We'll get litotes. We'll get zeugma. Thank you to...
Wow, he said zeugma and then that happened.
Absolutely.
3 men just got shot. USA.
And, of course, then we get even more literary because Seamus Heaney not only rhymed, but referred to Seamus Heaney, who is a great poet. You can get all literary like that. So, you know, I was shocked, stunned, and delighted by the combination of poetry, comics, EC comics, and similes.
Neil?
But hugely disappointed by the lack of litotes and Zuniga.
Neil Gaiman, ladies and gentlemen, with literary merit for Craig Collins. And now over to Craig Silvey, Craig on Craig action for performance.
Firstly, sorry, sorry, Todd. And thing with my keeping notes or pretending.
It's gun violence city out there.
Sweet Jesus. So.
Oh, I think it's fireworks.
All right. Feel a great sense of solidarity with Craig, since our first names are very similar. Also feel under considerable pressure, since Todd told me during the break that I'm doing really well. It's sadly ironic that the judge invited to adjudicate performance is more worried about his own performance than the actual performance by a performer also called Craig. I've also given an enraptured index in keeping with and I've gone for Latvian pole dancer.
Wow. Boom. Craig Silvey, ladies and gentlemen. Now back to Donna Porter for intangibles for Craig Collins.
In advance, I'm slightly horrified by my notes, and I hope you appreciate the fireworks that I organised, which is pretty much all I have. But also, I agree with everything you said, and all of those long words were bang on. What I wrote was, so his name is Craig Collins, and you said something about that he'd written for Haunted Bowels or written Haunted Bowels.
He'd written Haunted Bowels.
And I was just going to suggest that maybe he should change his name to Craig Colon. It's just a small thing, but I just think it would get him loads of work and would just be a real unique selling point. It's just a small thing. Anyway, the other thing that I was going to say was that he kept going on about this big cannon in his belly and how I'm like, fuck you, have a baby, man. And then the last thing I was going to say was, but it's okay, you can say what you want because you're really fit.
Donna Porter, ladies and gentlemen. And now back to Neil Gaiman for Amy Mason's literary merit.
So I was hoping, obviously, for more similes, but was pleased by our alliteration. Again, we got the weaving, whittling, whatever, and we got that twice, which is like twice as much. I think we'd all agree on twice. Yeah, twice as much. Also, in the phrase "she's fucking mad," I want to point out here, "fucking" is used as an intensifier. It actually increases how mad she is. I thought it was obviously existed in a comic sort of literary territory, which probably because it was devoid of the pictures, it existed in a territory which was sort of equal parts Dan Clowes, Chris Ware, and Pam Ayres.
Wow, that's a trifecta.
Particularly the Pam Ayres.
Amazing. Neil Gaiman with literary merit. And now, back to Craig Silvey for performance.
My last in my Diary of a Madman series. Loving Amy's kit. Her boots are A, bold, and B, mesmerizing. Why does my Wikipedia page say I'm Chinese? Who was responsible for this? Why China? Was it Neil or Dawn seeking to undermine me, get under my skin? Am I Chinese? Am I an undercover Australian? Am I a spy? Is this why I'm being pursued by this ice pick assassin? Amy is very charming. Enrapture Index, tyrannical cult leader.
Boom! Ladies and gentlemen, Craig Silvey. And now for the final judging of the night, Donna Porter for Amy's for intangibles.
Firstly, I would like to confirm what Amy said, that she is indeed very tall. Also, what I would like to question, is she the stand-up comedy version of Adele? Well, I mean that in the respect that she keeps banging on about her ex-boyfriend, but also being awesome at the same time. Also, she said that she only ate orange food, and in my head I was trying to make a big long list of orange food, and I think she actually lists them all, and the only one I can remember is baked beans, and there was one other thing, maybe egg yolk or something, but actually there aren't many orange foods, so to only live on a diet of orange food is actually quite limited, and I think we should all have massive sympathy for that. Thank you. And but also she did say that her boyfriend lost interest in sex with her, and I was going to suggest maybe that she should lay orange peel on her vagina. Because
That's the number
he
one.
was obviously used to one particular thing, and maybe if she'd have done that, then he would have had that. And it's, you know, sometimes when you write something down and then you say it out loud and you're like, oh, fuck.
Genius.
Thank God there's no audience. And also, I was going to say that pizza probably is the best food on the Isle of Wight. And also, the last thing I wanted to say, which is really unfunny and very uncool, but every now and then when you're in something like this, you stumble across someone quite brilliant. And I think we kind of just did.
Donna Porter, ladies and gentlemen, with Intangibles. Now the judges are going to huddle amongst themselves, and there might be some fury and some pain. I'm going to hand these out. The reason I'm giving these, they have our URL and all that stuff. If you want to check our website, we'll have pictures up. But the reason, like, pass them around. If you don't want one, don't take one. We'll get a stack bag at the end that's probably pretty hefty. But here's what I propose. Literature will get you laid. And I swear, if you take these to a bar and you're just like, you ever heard of this show? And then you just drop, say something like this. Say, Stephen Crane, who wrote Red Badge of Courage, he once said this about Pride and Prejudice. He said, it goes on and on like Texas. So say that. Just slide it to somebody. I'm going to do a different one, and then we'll see if I can remember it. Just slide it to a young lady or a young man. Not too young. Not Donna Porter young, but just slide it to them and say something like, you know, Hemingway once said about T.S. Eliot, he's a damn good poet and a fine critic, but he can kiss my ass as a man. Which, if you know T.S. Eliot's sexual history, it's like, does he want him to kiss his ass? Like, is it a gay innuendo, or is it just like he's mad at him because he's not a man? I don't know. You decide. Here, take one only if you want it. I'm not going to be offended. I love it. Guys, I just want to say before, I'm going to say this first. Give it up for our second round amazements. Fantastic. Oh my God. It is, I already said this, but now you probably know I mean it because I'm having the time of my life up here. It is such a thrill to be at this festival, and they have so many amazing writers and performers and interesting people, and it's almost over, but go to everything you can because it matters. And every writer here, if you love them, just go up there, go up to them before the end of the night and just thank them, because I know you're shy and you're like, no, they don't care. They're gonna eat it up and just say one interesting thing, and like they're gonna be like, oh my God, you wouldn't believe what happened. They're gonna be thrilled. So don't hesitate. Be more fucking idiotic. Be more Australian tonight. No, I was gonna say American. Like, be bold. No, but just tell them, because they'll really be grateful. And everybody here is amazing, and I have like 7 new crushes. So that's all I have to say besides buy all their books, and then we'll save the world together. Donna Porter, for gender balance. That's not the only reason, but I like to balance things, you know? 2 men, 2 women, readers.
Am I supposed to be holding this? Sorry.
Yes, if you could say a few words and announce the night's second finalist, and then we're going to get into it.
That. We really went through a lot, didn't we, deciding this
There's
one?
a lot.
And it was... Amy was the one that we thought, if tickets became available to one of her gigs tomorrow night, we would pay whatever it took to go and see her. She was really quite special, so it's Amy.
Ladies and gentlemen, Amy Mason! And give it up for Craig Collins! It's fantastic. And now I want you to welcome the judges off the stage, and we're going to zip into a finale that you never expected. Give it up one more time for Neil Gaiman, Craig Silvey, and Donna Porter! Thank you, guys. I'm in love. I'm really in love. I'm going to call up my assistant because I need an assistant. I'm just going to do this for a while. Those stack? I don't think so, but let's see what happens. Now, with Literary Deathmatch, we have a different finale every time. Hello, assistant. This is Maggie. She's going to be helping me doing a very important thing to make sure it's fair. Maggie, could you not let that... Okay. Here's what's going to happen. We do different finales. At the most recent thing, we did some Edinburgh event. We did an authored word jumble. I don't know what happened. But what we're going to do tonight is I welcome up our finalists. Amy, quit having fun over there and get up here to be a finalist. Could you center this on the stage? And where is she's? Penelope and Jenny Skinner, if you guys could make your way up. Because there are two of them, you get to pick anybody from this entire room to be your assistant/teammate.
Okay, well, he is my ex-boyfriend.
Bring him up!
Eddie Argos, over there.
Get up here, Eddie! Yes! What a life. So we do different finales every time. We played Pin the Moustache on Hemingway using James Joyce's mustache and other mustaches. Real quick, my assistant's not doing her best work. Would you like the right side of the stage or the left side of the stage? Oh, we only need one of these. Get rid of that. Yes. Left. Wait, hold on. Let me rephrase that. Do you want this side of the audience or that side of the audience? Wow. Oh, wow. No thanks, she says. She's going to take this side of the audience. If you could stand. I'm just kidding. I'm being a total dick. If you could stand in that area. And now if you guys could stand in that area. And then we're going to center this thing. I'm not going to do it because I'm terrible at touching that thing. Terrible at touching it. Here's what we're going to do. Different finales every time. Tonight, we're going to take a chance and do a literary Pictionary finale. What's going to happen? There are 5 rounds. Round 1 worth 1 point, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you guys are going to be the artists, because if they do it, they're going to actually write these things. What I've done is I've got slips of paper in my pocket that have different book titles on them. There's going to be bonus rounds with graphic novels on them, but and they're borderline impossible in one round. But what we're going to do is we're going to have you draw and change the face of literature forever. So you guys are going to draw, and they are going to guess, and they are going to guess. You are going to scream the answer into their ear. You're going to scream the answer into their ear. And they have to be the ones to say the book title to get the points. So while you're going to be screaming the name, and they're going to be like, I don't know, yell louder. And you guys yell loud. Okay. Maggie, if you could oh, wait, we need an artist. Could we have tonight's first epic artist? Yes, this guy holding up the arm of another guy. Get up here, guy who had his that never works, but he actually is like, yep, my arm was held up. I'm coming up there. Get on up here, sir. Now, Maggie, you guys can't see this. Maggie's going to pull this piece of paper out of my pocket. You're going to be saying the name of this book to win this round. Sir, how are you?
Awesome.
That's awesome. That is the first round book title that you have to draw. Have you ever heard of this book?
Yeah.
I've never heard of it. But I think he's going to be able to do it. Now, you're going to take up a pen, a blue, a green, a black. It's dealer's choice, folks. I'm going to just... Oh, he really hasn't heard of this book.
Not really.
Oh, awesome. Where are you from?
Portugal.
This is fucking so good. Because when you find out what book it is, it's pretty fucking sweet. Oh, no, that's not right. Oh, shit. We sold a lot of shot glasses before shit went wrong. And I got so much cash in my pocket they're going to take away from me. Okay, I thought for sure, this is so good that a Portuguese guy is drawing this book. Okay. It's been translated into 0 languages. You got it? You're going to nail this. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready. This is for a whole 1 point, and it's going to make the difference in all of our lives. Draw! He's left-handed. That's even better. Holy shit. Will they get this? Wow. Okay. I guess he's just going to draw the book from page 1. I think he was kidding. He's good. What's going on? Left-handed people can do that? I like how the left-handedness is a detriment to Jenny and Penelope. That person over there, one of their... Okay, it's not The Simpsons, by the way, but it looks like Homer is doing some things. Okay, by the way, this book is on the 100 best books of all time. I can't see either, and I'm right in front of it in terms of how much... Oh, my God. The Gift. Nope. Gravity's Rainbow is incorrect. Incorrect, because that has nothing to do with Gravity's Rainbow. But I don't blame you for trying, sir. Yeah, try again, because... No, it's not a graphic and novel.
Catcher in the Rye.
Catcher in the Rye is correct! Fairly obvious. Bread. Thank you, sir. Give it up for the Portuguese artist known as Homer Simpson. Catcher in the Rye. Thank you. That was amazing in every capacity. 1-0, Team Skinner. Maggie? I don't want to pull it out because then it seems shady. Right, these are just novels. You know what? You're right. Could you put that back? I'm gonna go ahead and go graphic novel. Oh, we need an artist. Who's gonna be amazing? Yes, volunteer your friend again. Awesome. Are you up for it, this lady here? She's gonna... Okay, so you're in. Lovely girl with the glasses. Come on up here. But make her come. I'm not even talking to you. Get up here. Come on, bring it. It's a graphic novel. Come on. Yes. Now the question is, do you want number 1 or number 2?
Number 2.
All right, it's this one. I don't know that you want number 2 now that I've seen it. She missed out on Ghost World. So, and there was a Dan Close reference earlier. Okay, this is the one you have to draw. It is a graphic novel. This is the graphic novel Hot Round. Worth 2 points. Do you know that book?
Yes.
A little cheat sheet. Neil Gaiman might have worked with this guy at a certain point, and he wrote this book. Are you ready? She's a righty, but she's going left side. Obviously, she's pissed about the Skinner sisters, I'll just say that. And go! Oh, she's going to block the view for everyone. Amazing. She's drawing up the exact same thing that other guy did from another angle. It's the Portuguese madman. Everybody knows this, I think. What? Ghost World it is not, but it looks like Ghost World. It's like Christina Ricci. What is it? Sandman is incorrect, but that is something that Neil Gaiman worked on. Jazz Hands? No. This is also one of the greatest graphic novels of all time. Watchmen is correct! Way to bring it home! I thought the ex-boyfriend was going to be like, I'm not helping. I'm going to ruin this for her. 2-1 with only 325 rounds to go. It's only 5 rounds. Who's going to be that superstar? Yeah, you can. All right, who's up? Yes, you with the arm in the air on accident. Come on up here. The girl who was lifting her arm just to get away from her friend putting on a sweater. We'll have you draw the next round. And what will it be for 3 points? Maggie, if you can help me out. Does anybody know the score? 2-1. Does anybody know that? Nobody's paying attention. We lost you so long ago. But trust me, it's going to get white hot in here in no time. Once she draws, this is a blank piece of... Okay. Are you ready? What's your name?
Ruth.
Hi, Ruth. That's my mother's name. Without my mother, this show wouldn't exist. You see that? It's a... Thank you for asking, because I'm going to keep forgetting. It's a novel. Oh, let me rip off the penis-handed man. Okay. Thank you very much. Skinner Sisters, at Skinner Sisters, follow them on Twitter. Are you ready, Ruth? I'm rooting for you to just be awesome because I love my mom so much. She's got a passport in her back pocket, folks. She's ready to get out of here. And go! Go! You'll never get this, guys. It's a novel. You'll get it. They'll never get it. I like how they always ask me, though. They're like, is it... You guys, I think she's got enough. You might as well stop. I know what it is, and it's not enough. Jesus, you people know how to draw here. I'm just going to go silent because I'm fucking confounded and fascinated. So close, but no. Silence, I'm just going to call and say that's not... Twilight, so close, also no. This is actually a good literary novel. I'm going to go ahead and say that. Oh, I know how good Twilight is. She's going to work on the hair. Screw it. What? That is correct, White Teeth! Oh, the question mark behind it. I think she was just drawing Zadie Smith. She was going to do the whole face. Thank you very much, Ruth. Now 4-2. Give it up for Ruth. Who's ready to be part of literary history? Here's why I want you to do it, because in a year you'll be like, oh yeah, that TV show, I was like at the live show and drew blankety blank. You can be a total condescending prick to your friends who didn't know about it yet. It's like total hipsterdom, but in a cool, literary, weird way that, no? No.
Jenny True.
Jenny True? Oh God, it's Jenny True! The truth. It's untrue? I'm going to be watching for any shadiness. Maggie, if you could pull one of these book titles out. This is for 4 points. It's a real novel, so it's not 50 Shades of Grey. And it's not the other things that you guys are like, oh, that looks, oh God. I know. That's so you're never going to be able to draw this. I don't know any books, she says. Do you know any of these words and what they mean? From a dictionary definition standpoint? Does anybody have the mailing list? Is it going? Thank you. She's like, it's going around. Leave it alone, guy. Nobody signed up. Nobody's going to sign up. Just shut up and get on with. Yeah, if you can rip off Zadie Smith's face. White teeth. I like that she waited a long time to draw the teeth and then went away from the teeth to the hair. Moving on. Go! That is correct! Grapes of Wrath! Holy shit! What happened? God! She thought she was going to be shady. She was whispering it to her friend, and she's like, no. Egalitarianism. I don't know what that word means. Does anybody know the score? You only have 2, right?
They've got millions.
They have 2 million. You guys have 4 plus 3 plus 1, which is very clearly 8. You guys kind of fucked, but there's a bonus round in which we bring out the hardest graphic novel names ever. Who knows, because you gotta be brilliant here. No, you don't. Who is gonna come up here and change the face of literature for the next 75 seconds while we go, maybe we should cut this round off because nobody's getting that. Oh, I hear somebody, pointing at a friend. The bold maneuver, pointing at a friend. Young lady, do you know how to hold a pen? Get on up here. All right. Could you say the number 1 or the number 2?
1.
What's your name?
Morna.
Morna, are you nervous? Yeah. You're adorable. Everybody's going to love you, especially after you tie this thing up. Although this one's only worth 5 points.
Okay, cool.
Did you say 2?
No, I said cool.
Did you, what? Could you say 1 or cool?
I said 1.
Okay, let me mix these up because I want to do this right, guys. 1 or 2?
1.
Okay. Good luck. Didn't mean to give her that one. I just thought, okay. You only have an hour and a half to draw this, Morna. She's so sweet. Her cheek is twitching. Morna, are you ready? Guys, I just want to tell you, this will basically crush these people to smithereens, but they've got one more shot. Are you guys ready for this? We're going to draw a graphic novel. It's going to be a graphic novel. It's going to be one of the greatest graphic novels ever. Go! Morna, with her back to the people that are definitely not in the lead, drawing a graphic novel that is undrawable by title alone. She's going with she's going with the banana peel, which is popular oh my God, she's nailing it. Fucking Morna, shaking like a leaf on a tree. Elvis Presley sang a song specifically about Morna's drawing at Literary Deathmatch 2013, and it's happening live. Holy expletive. Oh my God. Listen to the crowd, if that's all I'm saying. Listen.
Syphilis.
Syphilis is correct! They did it! Persepolis! He nailed it! Amazing! Morna, give it up for Morna! God. Syphilis, Persepolis, ladies and gentlemen. It's now 8-6 as we go into the final round, the round with 175 points. This is it. I need an artist. They're trying to leave. They're like, I think we've been robbed here. He said syphilis. Persepolis had syphilis. A lot of people don't know that. That's in the liner. No, she didn't. That fucking book is amazing, and the film is just as amazing. Is anybody ready? This is it. This is your last chance. This guy right here. I feel like you're the man for this. The dude with the glasses. The guy got pulled out of Bushwick / Shoreditch / the Glasgow neighborhood that's fucking epically hip. Come on up here, sir. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just give you a little bit of context. The show, mercifully, is almost over. Here's what's about to happen. This round is worth 175 points. It's 8-6. This is going to be a blowout one way or the other. What I need from you guys is to scream the answer like crazy. Don't be like those Finnish people that when we did this, one person barely squeaked, and then who cares about Finland, right? No, I love Finland, but really, actually, who cares about Finland? I do love it, though, so it's sad that I care about meaningless things sometimes. What's about to happen is we're about to crown a literary deathmatch champion. It's like when you win American Idol, only slightly less book sales. What I need from you is to go crazy if you know the answer. If you don't know the answer, just scream at the top of your lungs. Here we go. Maggie. What's your name, sir?
It's Adam.
Adam.
You've got no material for that one, have you?
I just wrote a novel and a screenplay, and Adam is the main character. Very handsome guy. Not that handsome. And not related to Hanson, the Tulsa-based mbop teenage thing. I love that every time I put it in my hand, like all secretive, it's always on the back side. Okay. Adam, how good are you at art?
I graduated in sculpture at ECA, so not very.
Okay. How good are you at changing the face of the literary world forever? Pretty damn good, Adam. Are you ready? Look at this.
Jesus.
Yeah, right? Do you think you can draw it?
Possibly.
Basically, all you have to do is draw a face with teeth, and everybody just eventually guesses it. Spoiler alert, we asked this guy to do our pilot. He said, oh my God, I would, but I'm out of town. And that's all you're going to get. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's all coming. I probably can't stand on this. Can't sell merchandise, don't stand on the furniture. But look at me. Risking it all for literature, guys. Adam, are you ready? Team Skinner, are you ready? Team Skinner team, are you ready? Team Amy Mason / ex-boyfriend. Team Amy Mason / ex-boyfriend team. Adam, let's do this! Go! Holy shit, can he make it happen? Will I even hear what they're saying? Screaming at the top of my lungs. What? Clockwork Orange? No, what did you say? No, still not true. It's not a graphic novel, but it should have been based on I don't know what parameter. What is it? Midnight's Children, ladies and gentlemen. Amy Mason is the literary deathmatch champion. Wait 1 second. Team Skinner, you guys came on in a first round whirling dervish style, and you conquered the amazing Team Stevie. Now you stand up here as finalists, but charming and wonderful finalists. You didn't win, but you're still champions in our book, or finalists. What does this mean to your literary career?
Everything. Yeah, totally. This is the pinnacle.
It is, yeah.
It really is. Give it up for the Skinners! Amy. House of Fire. Combusted. Fireworks going off at just the thought of your story, and that was after you barely sneaked by the amazing Craig, which won, in the second round. Who knows what I'm talking about. Now you stand before us as a literary deathmatch champion. All of these people are in love with you. How do you feel?
Does anyone want to have sex with me?
Yes.
I'm not fussy, just... Thank you. That's promising.
I've never heard that question in response, but I think that's what we're all thinking. Will you sleep with us? Not us. We're not. Well, you never know. Give it up for Amy Mason. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you one last time for being here tonight. You don't have to leave. You missed all the great shows. We're going to have a drink here, talk to these people you saw perform tonight. They love you as much as we love them. It's like 11, basically. Get drunk with us. I'm going to be around. You probably won't be able to find me because I'll be in this jacket. But thank you so much for coming. Just keep buying books that you care about and like telling people about them and tweeting about them because it actually matters. It does make a difference and it feels nerdy and stupid, but no, it doesn't. It feels fucking amazing because then you get to be pretentious and that's really fun. Thank you to Roland Gulliver who made this happen to the Edinburgh Book Festival, and call your mother. She misses you.